Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. So today I was promising you that I will finish mainsail today, so in next episode I will rig as a small boat our lobster smack. Let me take her here, but unfortunately today I can stay here with you only 2 hours because I have to drive my husband to the airport. He's going for 2 months to excavate a shipwreck in Black Sea, so I can't stay longer. But I promise you at least I will sew boat rope on 3 sides. I hope I will sew it. And next Sunday I will finish the sail, and maybe another episode will be about rigging actually, or setting up the sails. Because this is this lobster smack is with very simple rigging. So I have rigged practically all blocks. The only what is left, I need to create a block with hook for this traveler, and I need to add eye bolt for the stay here, and I believe this is it. So not that much left, but definitely I will need another 2 episodes, maybe 3, to finish this little model. So without much talking, let's work. And so this is our jib, which I made on previous Sunday. And today my plan is to make exactly the same with mainsail. So, but mainsail will be also with reef points, and I need to add another kringle in the end of the reef points. So I hope I will sew just 3 sides, like head of the sail, leash next to the mast, or 4 side of the sail and foot of the sail. So we'll see. Or quite on the contrary, I can make the most difficult part. I can make aft side of the sail, bottom and head, or foot and head of the sail. It will be the most difficult part because it will be with 2 served clews, when on the fore side it will be just 2 earrings. So I will leave easier part for the next time then. And I will use Gutermann threads. It's color number 797, and I like Gutermann polyester. It's very thin, very strong, and without hair at all, like at all. So this is my favorites to sew. And for the bolt rope I will use 0.84 millimeters diameter. Let me make it a little brighter. So to measure the length of the bolt rope, since here will be 2 earrings, so I will measure only 3 sides, how long I need. So I will put it like this. I'm just putting it next to the side which I have to sew. Next to the clue, making a small loop, then moving next side. Let me make unroll more rope. So again I will make a small loop, something like this, and I will roll over here. And because it is a polyester rope, I will use a drop of Cinciano acrylate just for securing the end so it will not untwist, because I just made this rope, and while it is so fresh it is very easy to untwist. Okay. It is for temporary fixation, as I was mentioning it before, but it is necessary to do it now. So, and for sewing bolt rope I'm using the beading needles. They are the thinnest, that's why they also can easily bend, but they are the best for this purpose. Let me show you what I'm using. Usually at the beginning they are straight, but because they are so thin, it is very easy to sew it through the bolt rope, through the cable, but they are so thin and so easy to bend, so that's what is happening with them in the process of sewing. Actually I could bring also camera closer. Okay, it's visible, good. Let me find the focus, or field of depth. And again I will be hiding the ends of the each yarn between the double crosses, or where I have leeches, so it will not be visible. So I can hide it somewhere here, probably this time. apply again a drop of cyanoacrylate so it will be glued inside and I will not pull it out while I'm sewing. I haven't put it inside, good job. Inside, please. Like this. So, yes, now it can't fall out of there. Now go, are you already commissioned sales from Lydia? Okay, and let's do it. So I will leave tail here on the rope. And again, I need to stick my needle under one twist, if I can say one thread of the cable, or it's not cable, it's rope. Cable is left twisted. And also it should be sewn not just to the edge, it is on the inner side of the sail. So this is what I'm doing. And stitch by stitch I will do this next 2 hours. The only difference will be on the corners when I will be sewing clues and sewing them. And as I said, I will have 2 clues on this sail and 2 earrings. And it is also because it is so slow process, and that is why I'm not sewing sails, only sails, and people are asking like, can you make sails? It takes such huge quantity of time that it just nobody can pay the proper price for it, first of all, and if I will start doing that, I just don't have time for building my own models. That's why I'm so upset to say no. Always I prefer to say always yes, but somebody told me once you have to learn how to say no, and that is true. Just because, for example, for the HMS Boreas, I took restoration, it's full blast restoration, so yes, it's fine that I have to sew in full set of sails there. But it took me 6 months to sew in 23 sails, and this is without stencils. If the owner decided that I have to also put stencils, it probably could add another 2 months minimum. And that is why I just can't afford to sew sails, only sails. Because I just couldn't produce any videos for you guys. It would be only work with sails, and it is very tired-ish. Because sewing with needle, bolt rope can be sewn only with needle, if you want to do it historically accurate. So that is why I can't do this. But that is why I'm also making 3 or 4 videos already about how to make sails for this lobster smock. And this is only 2 sails. And I'm trying to do it also fast, so not always paying attention where I'm sticking needle even. Yes, Scott, I know, because ropes of scale, the owner of the store, he is using exactly the same ropes which I'm using for making my ropes. The only difference, I'm using very heavy weight, so they are more stiffer, and it's like more compressed twists, with just a little stronger texture, or a little more visible. But when you are using smaller weight, they are softer and easier to work. So it's like stick with 2 ends. If you want to save something easier to work, then you should use smaller weight when you are making ropes, and heavier weight when you have to make very stiff ropes. And sometimes it is useful. I'm doing this on the purpose, just playing with different weights. But it is also changes diameter of ropes. If it is heavier weight, you are getting stiffer rope, and it is also bigger, thicker diameter. Because when it is softer, less twisted, and it is thinner diameter. So that's how I also can play and get ropes in 0.16 millimeters in diameter, but it is so thin, it's not even visible, the texture of the rope. So I'm not using on my models anything thinner than 0.22 millimeters. Just makes no sense. And I have this thin rope, This is 0.22, which I will use for serving this clues on this sail. So this is what I'm using. It is not up to scale sometimes. I'm intentionally making some ropes thicker in diameter, even if I'm calculating them properly. Intentionally, the thinnest ropes I'm making a little thicker, so they will be visible. The texture of the ropes will be visible. Okay. And as I said before, I'm planning to make 3 sides of the sail. We'll see how much exactly I can make during 2 hours. Without sticking needle into under my nails, preferably. Oh, and I forgot to bring the book to show you this type of sails. That reef points also sewn without additional or strengthening or that lines for reef points. It's just sewn into seams or inserted into seams. So I will make it next time and will show you that drawing. Because usually 17th, 18th century ships, they had reef band for reef points. And this one is without. Painful to stick such a thin needle under your skin. It's very easy to do, but it's painful. And just want to remind you who also joined the group on Facebook with Lobster Smack or other group build models. Every time when we are finishing a model, I'm planning to make sort of exhibition inside the group. So everybody who builds the same model, you can, if you wish, to put it for the exhibition and participate to get a title cover for the group. So whose model will get the most votes, I will put it on the group main picture of the group. And till next finished model, so we will make another exhibition inside the group and everybody can vote. I think it's possible to make poll there with pictures, or just we can make a post with comments and everybody can adjust pictures, and whose model or whose comment will get the most likes will be the winner. I will think about how exactly to organize it, but after we'll finish this Lobster Smack, I can wait another couple of weeks when everybody will be ready to participate, and we can make such exhibition, and the winner will get that on the top of the group on Facebook, that place for a picture of the group. So you can proud of yourself who will get that place or that spot. And this will be only between participants of the group voting, I mean, because you already know how the model was built. We already know each other behind our nicknames, how you were building models, so we can vote. Oh, did you see the Mexican sailboat hit the Brooklyn Bridge? Wow, haven't seen any news about it. I will check it later. Scott, if you want to measure exact diameter of the ropes, take something rounded, anything. I'm usually using even my scalpel. Make 10 twists around it and then use caliper. So this is the most accurate way how to measure it. For example, if I will take something like this and will try to measure it, it will tell me something 0.78, 0.79, but I can press harder and it is smaller diameter, or ease it and so it will be plus minus. But if you will take something rounded and will make 10 twists, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I will put them together. This will be the most accurate way to measure it. So, and now let's see what I can get. So actually I have 0.86 millimeters. I'm just dividing by 10, something like this. Okay, oh, haven't. Something like this. So this is when you have 10 loops, this is the most accurate. And if the ropes much softer, it is even more difficult just not to compress them too much to get a proper diameter, to know it. Yeah, just made a mess. Oh, wow. Somebody made a mess with that boat and the bridge. Thank you, I'm glad you like this trick, Thomas. Sometimes I'm showing these tricks in my videos, but because I already shown them, I think that everybody already have seen it, so I'm not repeating them. But sometimes you just have to remind me and ask me. Andriy Krugliakov comment in Ukrainian. Oh, by the way, it's time to wait overview of Nef or Minchelsa. Are you talking about Pavel Nikitin's ships? Because this is another completely made up model and he is not mentioning it, that it is just his vision how it could look like, but it is not historically accurate model. And I'm done with all these fake models, really. I prefer to build really historically accurate, on which I can find some information to improve them, to add more details. It's just, for me, it is boring to build somebody's imagination. I also have my own imagination, so I can build my own Nef, how I imagine it. So that's why, done. My biggest disappointment was with his Viking ship. If he couldn't even put mast step and mast in proper position, so what can I say? That is just completely... He made one half of the ship and just mirrored it when it wasn't mirrored. The ship was wider in the bow and narrower in the stern, so he completely changed the shape of the ship. He just used clinker planking on it, like it was on Viking ships, and that's it. But it is like it was on the Viking ships. It is not exactly how the Osberg ship was built. When we have entire ship in the museum, and this is really the most sad part. Why you have to design your own Osberg ship if we have original one? So same with Neff. And I was so happy and glad with his that boat. Shallop, finally. That shallop was really practically very historically accurate design. Something was wrong with rigging. You can't tack this boat as it's designed right now. But hull, it was more or less historically accurate, designed with proper frames. But how much I was enjoying that when it was so good, so that much I was disappointed with Viking ship. Oh, Douglas, when you are applying cyanoacrylate, just try to apply it in front of that sewn perimeter or sewn seams or the stitch from the sewing machine, but not over glue it behind it. The main purpose of using glue just to prevent it from creating that hair and just to so the yarns or threads from the cloth will start pulling out. So in the moment you have sewn bolt rope, you don't have to worry about it at all. So it is just for temporary fixation of the cloth or threads of the cloth. And also this, like this stitch from the sewing machine, is just like a barrier, so you don't have to spill it behind it. When I'm building kits, I was thinking about, like, if I would be designing this one, I would do it in such and such way. But in truth, I just don't have time. I have in my mind an idea what kit I would like to design, but just don't have time. And right now, at the moment, I decided I will not take any single one more on my desk until I will finish at least 2. So finish 2, take 1. Exception is only for group build and live streams, because this is my vacation and or my days off from main work, like restoration. So because right now I'm working on the Boreas ship and restoring that one. And I want to finish that one on time, so I'm working right at the moment full blast on that one. And right at the moment I'm designing, scaling boats for it and filling them with details. So I have to start building at least 3 boats I will make for that ship. And to make a boat for the ship, it is like another model for a model. And when it is in the scale, so all parts are very thin, very easy to break. Simultaneously, it is very easy to bend. But I'm just scaling all the drawings which I have, and I probably have, maybe I should publish on Tuesday next episode about drawings, because I started making a new topic with AutoCAD, because I'm doing this in AutoCAD. So I fired the lines of it was yawl, or it was, I don't remember which one, longboat I believe I published, but because I have also yawl and I have cutter. So I need to continue making these episodes, and I need to show you how to prepare drawings, and then how to make drawings for mold, and then how to make mold on which you can make as many boats as you want, just they will be on the same scale. I have somewhere molds here too. Somewhere. That was the keyword. Huh. I believe this is one of such molds which I will make for boats. So I built already 3 or 4 cutters. This is French cutter for French ships in scale 1:48. So now I will make a set of such molds for English boats. Oh, just fell off of the screen. Oh, thank you, Daryl. Hello, Darvis or Darvis. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name properly. So thank you very much for joining. And I'm still sewing sails. If you just joined, so I'm still sewing mainsail for this lobster smock. And just trying to talk about something interesting, just like a background of this boring stitch. Thank you, Justin. I'm glad you like it. So while I'm sewing and making all these same stitches step by step, so you can ask me any questions, I'm ready to answer them, because I can stick my nose into this sail and I can talk. And again, I can't see my chat properly. That's why I'm opening it also on my phone to read the chat. Okay, almost at the peak of the sail. Thank you, Daryl. I'm glad you like it. That is why I'm making them. So you can watch, and if you are enjoying them, it just makes me happy and I'm getting inspiration to continue making all these videos. And as I said before, these live streams became my days off. So I'm just enjoying this build together with you. I can chat and it's like fresh air for me, because when the hobby become a full-time job, it's getting like difficult. If you need, like, every Monday you have to get up and go to work. Same with me, I have to get up and go to the workshop to work, not just enjoy the hobby, I'm going to work. And this is what I'm doing every day. My husband is going to his office, I'm going to the workshop, and everybody are working. Just I'm working at home, so it looks like I'm enjoying it. But it is work too, doesn't matter that it is at home. Probably next time for the group build I should start sewing sails much earlier, like one side of the sail during the stream, or 1 hour sewing sail and another hour doing something more interesting, just to make it not that boring, because 2 hours of these stitches, even I'm getting tired and bored, but just I know that I have to do it, so I will do it. But I want to make something more dynamic in the videos and more interesting. So I have to think about and divide it. Something like that, Jim. But in truth, if you even love to do it or like to do it, when it is a job, it is all, you are not enjoying it that much as you were enjoying it before it became a job, or become a job. Actually, I'm enjoying redlining. For me it is more fun than just stitching bolt rope, because with bolt rope I'm quite often sticking this thin needle under my nails. When with red lines you just have to sit and work with your fingers and tweezers. But yes, on the Boreas it will be also a lot of them, so maybe I will make one video, for example, for the main mast, and the rest I just will show you in general. Just I will film one piece with one side even, because makes no sense to film entire redlining when it is exactly the same knots, just on different masts. And this is what I was worried about the live streams, that if I have to do something like red lines or the sewn bolt rope, it is interesting to watch first couple of minutes while you are doing something like first sewing, then serving the clue or making earring, and then you are repeating the same steps with every sail, so it is like boring to watch, for example, 23 sails, how to sew them. So I was thinking even about maybe if we will choose one day a big model, because before we have chosen the Philadelphia gunboat. It was competing with Mayflower. I understand why people were voting for that one. It is the most wanted, one of the most famous ships. Doesn't matter that we know about it only a name, and that's why every manufacturer who has Mayflower has a different version of it. And actually lately we can build right now Mayflower 2, which William Baker designed for building that replica. And even that replica proved to be not that perfect. It was impossible to sail her through the ocean with original rudder. So for that voyage, engineers installed steering wheel on the Mayflower because it was easier to do. But originally she wasn't with the steering wheel. Oh, my camera did this trick. So something is not right. So it wasn't like that probably on the original Mayflower. So mostly people are building now Mayflower 2, that Williams Baker replica. Yeah, and that's why I'm also trying to talk but during this sewing, so really to make it just more interesting. And now I need my ruler to measure how long I have to. Actually maybe two, maximum 3 stitches more, and I can start making clue, serving it. Because I'm making my clues from the bolt rope. Just for information who doesn't know, that clues on the big sailing ships, on the square sails, it was an additional piece of rope served and sewn to the bolt rope. For the smaller sails, like Royals, the clues were made out of the bolt rope. Just because in this scales will be very eye-poking and very noticeable, I'm making always clues from the bolt rope. But originally for the big square sails, it was additional piece of rope, served and sewn to the bolt rope. Come on, can't get it. I think this should be just enough. Let me check. Smaller step. So now I will hide this end of the thread, and I will serve this piece of bolt rope to make a clue. And again I will hide it under this lining, or this is cloth or something like that. I don't remember exact term for this piece of textile. Reinforcement of the sail, let's say. Ouch. I just need to stick it under between the two cloths. or canvas. Like this. Oh. A little darker so it will be more visible. So something like this. But I will use this drop of cyanoacrylate. So it will be there. Oh, good job, just got glued to the... Need to clean this needle for the glue. And I will use something to hold them. Something with it. Oh, vice. I have my favorite vice. So I just will clamp this end of the rope so I can hold it for serving. Is it visible? Like this. And as I said, I will use this 0.22 millimeters for serving. I think I have a few. This is short one, so probably I will use it later for reach points. Oh, I have a piece of rope here. Come on. Need to tighten this knot. Okay, I will take another piece of it. How long is this one? So I can take and tie on. And I need needle. Oh, this time I did it fast. And a small tiny piece of masking tape. To fold this sail so it will not be in my way. Maybe it's too long. We'll see. If I can't work with such long one, I will trim it. No, actually this end of this rope is not very good, so I have to trim it. Okay, I will cut the rest, so it is not that long. Talking under my nose. Thank you so much, Tossati Giovanni. I hope I'm reading your name correctly. Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. And this is you guys who are making these videos possible to come. Because when I was thinking about live streaming, I haven't realized how expensive it is in equipment part. And I think I have to replace this HDMI cable, which is constantly disconnecting my camera. I think this is cable, not a coupler, because first I was thinking about a coupler because I'm using, instead of battery, just DC adapter with coupler, because any kind of battery can't survive 2 hours, so that's why it is connected to the electricity socket. but now I am just sometimes touching the cable and it's disconnecting, so I think it's just HDMI cable, and I bought the cheapest one, but Amazon Basics or something like that. Probably I have to buy more expensive one. It does matter in this situation. And in a moment, Dr. Batchvarov will come back from his field work. He promised me his camera so I can connect two cameras. For this I also have to buy another cable and another video capture card, so I can put together two cameras and I don't have to switch lenses during the stream. You can see both simultaneously, close up and entire picture. It will be much easier than just let me change camera or lens. This is what I was doing usually. I think it's enough. Let me cut this. So this end will end up in the trash can. It wasn't properly twisted. Now another 2 centimeters of serving. Tape the cable down so it won't come looser. I think actually it just, maybe it's the socket in the camera, because it was really like when you are inserting it and it is loose, so I don't know, something is not right. It is also quite old camera, that's why I'm also saving money to buy a new one, and I hope to the end of this year I will do this, and so this one should survive to the end of the season, because usually somewhere around Christmas I can find something with discounts, and this is my hope. Oh, finally my assistant came. So he likes to chew ropes, especially if something is hanging from the table, so he can just grab it and pull it down. And if it is tightened to the model. Sometimes I have to catch my model in the air already. So, because my assistant is a very big fan of ropes, to chew them. Oh, what scale in this model? This is 1:24. So that's why I'm making so detailed sails. And also a question from Thomas, Olha, do you do all your sails the same way all the time, or do you have different styles? I'm not styles, or maybe I have some different techniques, but also depends on the scale. And for example, like in this case with Lobster smug, I did research what sails were sewn, because I was thinking that probably bolt rope was already inside the leashes, but nope. It was sewn regular bolt rope, just differently attached clews or sewn clews, so I will use it, sew it exactly in the way, oh, I did a mess here, good job. Exactly how it was done for this period in the 19th century, because it differs from 18th century. the style of sewing it. And for example, in different scales I can imitate, like here I'm showing these double stitches. When it's 1/48 I'm just sewing one straight stitch. And in this case with Lobster smock I have shown also how to make sails without sewing them at all. I was pulling the threads, so this is a different thread inside. That's how I imitated the canvas. And also the linings, I just glue them with that hot strip when you can iron it. And I also want to show how to glue the bolt rope too. So this will be just example how to make sail without any single stitch. Just again, maybe next episode I want to finish mainsail first, and just I can glue one side on this sail of bolt rope just to show you the technique how to do it. And usually I'm using metal ruler or a piece of plexiglass to glue bolt ropes. But again, my preferences is sewing them. I just know this technique without sewing at all. But apparently it is more difficult for modelers without sewing, so it is easier to actually sew in them. But still I just want to finish and show this technique, and I will make a separate video about it. He's trying to say you need to work faster. Is he trying to say? I agree. Just it is impossible. Sales, it is always very slow process. And as I said in the beginning of this video, that is why I'm not making, not like some, I have a lot of questions like, can you make sales? Can you sew in sales for me? Can't, because it is very slow, and if I will start doing that, I just can't work on my models. I don't have time for that. And nobody will pay a real price for it, even $1 per hour at least. As I said, a set of sails for the Boreas, 23 sails. It took me 6 months. And when I was sewing that sails, I was working sometimes more than 10 hours a day. I was having insomnia, so I was sleeping like 3-4 hours only. And mostly I was just sitting and sewing. It was just kind of meditation. When you can't sleep, you just have an awful headache, you can't even lay down, so you can at least sew in sails. Okay, with very long rope it is slower to serve than when it is shorter. But already did this. Stick to it. Oh, from Italy. Thank you very much for joining. I definitely have a very international company here of viewers. Actually, I have sort of a diary, proper word. So each episode, I'm just signing how many hours I have spent on it. So in the end of that restoration, I can tell you exact amount of hours I have spent. So I can just pick it up and calculate how many hours exactly I have spent on sewing sails. From marking them, calculating them, cutting them, etc., all the way to the sewing boat rope. It took me 6 months, as I said, and I was working more than 10 hours a day, especially during the sewing boat rope. Okay, let me unglue this piece of sail to check if it is enough already. Oh, no, not enough yet. Well, thank you, Joshua Griffin. Thank you very much for your support for the channel. Guys, you definitely are making it possible. So I'm really grateful for each dollar, because as I said, my camera is barely alive and I hope that it will survive to the end of this year before I will buy a new one. Of course I will try to repair it, but right now I'm afraid even to touch it. It is falling to pieces. And maybe it's not a cable, maybe it's camera itself when I'm getting these disconnections. So I don't know. But when I ask how much it will be to replace this unit with all these sockets in the camera, and they told me that they have to replace entire, so not only HDMI, but it is the HDMI cable, it is everything. HDMI, microphone, or entire, this literally huge 1/4 of the camera, this entire unit should be replaced, and it costs half of the price of the camera, so it makes no sense to repair this part. But I want to clean it properly, and maybe just it can continue just photographing if it can't stream it properly. But I hope I will buy a new camera and everything will be fine from the next year without any disconnections. Thank you, Douglas. I really appreciate it. The HMS Boreas, this is a private model, and that model has a very interesting history. Just somebody bought a house with this model, and background that this model was given wife, previous owners of the house. The wife ordered for her husband as a gift for something, anniversary or something, but when they sold house, a new owner decided that this is garbage, he don't need it, and he sold it for literally for nothing on eBay, and a new owner who bought it brought it for me to restore it, because it was sitting on the open shelf with thick layer of dust, and apparently this model was built the professional modeler started building it, because I found even traces of PVA glue on the skeleton, but the rest of the model was finished excuse me rigging especially was made with somebody, maybe kit builder, because it was only ropes from kit manufacturers. Oh, excuse me, don't know, just something itchy. Can we make a break? I will go and grab some water. Because I think it's something allergic. I'm sitting next to cyanoacrylate, I am allergic to it, so let me glue this. I need 5 minutes break to grab some water. Okay, I'm back with water just in case if I will need it more. And I was talking about the background of Boreas. So the new owner who bought this model literally for nothing on the eBay, he hired me to make the restoration, to clean it and to fill it with details, because as I said, the professional model looks like somebody professional started it, because the hull is so fair, so perfect, and then suddenly you can see this huge diameter nails. Literally the professional couldn't do that. And also the model was like empty, no bolts, nothing, some awful imitation, even rigging the gun and gun carriages, cannons and gun carriages. They were made really good, although the cannons were wooden, but it doesn't matter, it's still good. But the rigging, it was only breaching, and instead of all these eye bolts, it was just a ring glued to the side and hole in the stern, side inner planking of the ship, and just the rings were glued to the deck. Also, this is sort of imitation of eye bolts with ring, so don't know what exactly it was planned to be, and lots of such weird stuff. So I just scraped it off, removed, and also rigging. Literally entire model was rigged with 10 blocks, because it was like one line, and it was like, for example, connected to the deck, to the yard, on the belaying pins, and back to the yard. It was like one line, and somebody was like doing these zigzags, rigging it. So it was complete mess. It was with cheap ropes from kit manufacturers. So, and also I found also a third hand, somebody in the process when the model probably was in that house, and it was something was broken, like broken spars. Somebody was gluing it, and I found also a different type of glue, completely different type. So it was visible. So I was removing layer by layer, almost to the beginning of the first modeler who started building it. Now I'm making all these parts, filling all these details, replacing broken spars, adding booms which were missing also. So I need to make also boats. And also in the process, of course, I'm making research, like on this ship, somebody mixed these cleats or blocks for the fish divot. Somebody decided that this is a place for the gun, so also on the forecastle was 2 guns at the wrong. It was a spot for the fish divot, for lifting anchors. So lots of such mistakes actually was there. And also I found in the book partially published logbooks from this ship, and it was described such details like mast was scraped off and painted yellow ochre, so I painted them yellow ochre. Also on the model the bowsprit was red, but in British fleet there weren't any single one ship with red bowsprit, so I repainted also in yellow ochre. Also chain plates were painted in blue and yellow for, don't know for what reason. They were made out of brass, I believe, or it was copper. No, it was copper, or both. Instead of blackening them, they were painted. So I removed and replaced them. Also, another detail which I found in logbooks that since I'm restoring it, how this ship looked like when the Nelson was serving on this frigate. So right in front, the Nelson step aboard, he replaced or ordered, or somebody, I don't remember who exactly replaced, but it was exactly when Nelson step aboard. They replaced pinnace with a big cutter. It was 28-foot pinnace originally, but they replaced it with 30-foot cutter. So this is what I'm doing. I will make cutter on this model. Cutter, longboat, and yawl. This is what I will make. And of course, sails. Sails were sewn and soaked into the, I think, or it was that awful glue, or it was varnish. More likely that it was that awful glue which I couldn't remove. And also the worst part of it, just like a cherry on top of the cake, the model was varnished. So it took me 3.5 months just to scrape off all that varnish, because if I couldn't do that properly, I could get spotted model. So I was scraping it with my favorite tool. Don't know where is it. That small broken file. So this is what I was using for scraping each corner, and I scrape entire model with this small tool. And now I'm using shellac, because as I said before, shellac is removable. You just can take these cotton swabs, use alcohol, and you just can sweep it. So even if you have to restore this model in 50-60 years, you just can sweep it together with the dust, entire layer of shellac, and apply a new one, and it will be like brand new model. Actually, I have shown it recently on another small tiny model. It was sort of interpretation of Santa Maria. It was 100 years plus model, because at first I was thinking about 80 years old, but apparently we found traces and proven that that model was older than 100 years, and it was protected with shellac. So I just wiped it with the cotton swabs with alcohol and applied a new layer. Okay, how long this one? Almost 33-ish. I need 33 millimeters. So, and theoretically I should finish Boreas to the end, or to middle autumn, this autumn I mean. I have made 7 sails. I have almost all spars. I'm painting them right now. They will be black, how it was on the Boreas during the Nelson's period. So it's quite interesting, but so I was actually more excited when I was removing this layer by layer, like hand by hand, somebody who was finishing this, building it, repairing it, and it was interesting just to see this. And I was surprised that actually at the very beginning somebody was using proper glue, like PVA, and then switched to this awful one, which is very difficult to remove, and I just specifically for the Boreas bought a hot gun, and it helped a lot. And apparently, I never seen this before, so we got just to conclusion together with viewers that this is glue which was boiled from these hoofs, bones. I heard about it but never used it. And it is also looks like varnish, yellowish, and cracks. But the moment you are applying heat, it softens, and the moment you remove it, it can harden, so you don't have time to rip it off. So you have to heat and rip it off simultaneously. Not steaming, not alcohol, not acetone couldn't help. Just only hot gun simultaneously with ripping it off. Nothing else could work. So it was also another complication. Boreas rigging is rigging like no go. Why? Yeah, varnish scraping, it was just now it is just memories. But in the process of scraping it off, I was just sitting and like, oh my god, and just 1 square centimeter done clean, the next one in centimeter by centimeter, oh. But it is clean now, it looks beautiful. It was also a challenge to cut oar ports, because this frigate was with oar ports and the wood was so fragile. So I was doing this with only very sharp scalpels, just praying every time when I was cutting a new oar port. And with sharp scalpels it was possible. Okay, now I need to shape the glue. I don't want to have knot here. Again, it's not fair. Good. Why it is getting knots here? Finally. So now I need to shape it into a proper glue. also want to make it visible. 3 loops should be one next to each other. And then come on, 3 beautiful loops. And then I need to insert it in this earring. Make another 2. Something like this. It's visible, I believe. And again, I'm continuing serving. Maybe I need to stick it one more time into this. And another 25 millimeters of serving. Should be faster on this side. This rope is getting shorter. I thought I could just send it down smooth and carry on, but it needs to go back to mail from and I'll start again. What are you talking about? What do you think of coral quality? Actually, I haven't built anything from coral. I have built Amati, Artesania Latina, because I believe that the Agostini's victory, it was Artesania Latina, or Latina kit. So I haven't built coral. I like Amati's these victory models, like with improved quality. Quite good, easy to build. Usually historically, no, based on drawings, like that HMS Pegasus, which I'm building, I checked lines are just perfect. They are matching the sloops of war, Swan class sloops of war. So they are based on proper lines, just as every kit manufacturer trying to make simplified it for even to build for a child, so it is lack of details. This is what I'm doing. I'm adding all that missing details just to make kit model look like more historically accurate, more with bigger quantity of details and parts, so that's why it takes longer. And I decided also to paint friezes on that one instead of using photo etched. Just some sort of, I don't know, corals, swirls. I decided to make a proper one. And so actually if you will add more time, doesn't matter what kit it is, you just can create a more historically accurate model. And this is my religion, how to build them from kits, to improve them. Because if it is based on original drawings, so you already have a perfect base to improve it and make it to look more like from scratch than from a kit. You can always buy more expensive ropes And trust me, just to replace that awful ropes with more expensive like that ropes of scale which Scott purchased, your model will get at least twice higher quality and much better look than if you will use ropes from the kit. Same with blocks. Mostly kits are coming with that awful square blocks with one hole. You just can buy a laser cut. They are properly shaped, they are more realistically looking blocks. Sometimes you have to add them, to drop them into that, what was the proper tumbler, sanding tumbler. I converted I bought actually that National Geographic rock tumbler and converted it into sanding tumbler for blocks. So a couple of hours and that's in, and that blocks will look like they were just made in scale, specifically for your model. So, and I just got my blocks from model Shipways, laser cut blocks, which I will use for the gunboat Philadelphia. So I probably next Saturday I will show them just to compare quality, how it will look when you will use just awful cheap square blocks from kits and how they can be replaced with laser cut blocks. And it is a very huge improvement without actually any power tools. You just have to purchase proper or more beautiful blocks, and it is already a huge improvement for the model. But actually Coral has right now, what they have done, they have flooded YouTube, so every creator who has more or less channel with regular publications, they just flooded and offered their kits for free. Just please take in and build our kits. I can see advantage of this. This is just free advertisement, passive advertisement. But maybe that's why I don't want even to try their kits, because so many other manufacturers has such good kits. Like, I like, for example, Maristella. They are trying to make them the most historically accurate. That speedy model which I'm building, it is so well designed, you don't have to do any research, it is already everything there, and they are offering you two types how you can build it. You can just use simplified instructions, and they suggesting how you can do it faster and simpler, and simultaneously they have produced and provided you with very detailed drawings, so you just can to open them and follow them. You don't have to make any researches, everything is there. So why not to build that one? I just, again, don't have time. I like Speedy very much. So is the Pegasus from Amati, but I just have to finish the Boreas on time, and then I will come back to my models. But maybe my favorite is Confederacy, because it was my husband's gift, and the USS Confederacy was built here up on the river where I'm living, so in my area, it's local. And it is also very historically accurately designed. It was the design of Chuck Passaro. Model Shipways manufactured, but because it was from very cheap wood, I'm using it as a patterns and replacing everything with boxwood and pear. But again, it is very detailed, really historically accurately designed. You don't have to dig and do the research. Although there is regional drawings in their archives in the British in the Q. What was the proper name? It is now they switched the name. I will remember in a moment. So when they captured the Boreas, they have taken lines from the ship, original ship. So the drawing is actually exactly how the ship was built from the ship itself. And I like it very much, so enjoy it, but again, don't have time. And also the kit is only a hull, but I want to reconstruct and calculate rigging and spars for it, and I want to make it with sails. And it will be a huge model because it isn't 1:64, and the hull itself 96 or 98 centimeters long. Add to this bowsprit and boom. So 1 meter 40-ish plus centimeters, I believe. And probably taller than 1 meter, 1 meter 20-ish. Just plus minus calculations. Okay, let's check if it is long enough. Not long enough yet. But this is the plan. We'll see when I will get to that point. Of course, who is building USS Confederacy, I will share all my calculations, spars, sails, etc. So who wants to do the same, you can use it. But again, I have to find time to do it. But I will do. One beautiful day, I will do it. A few more loops probably, and this clue will be ready. Let me check. A little longer, maybe another 4 or 5 loops. Ouch. Yeah, it was a mistake to take such long rope. It is slowing me down. Another 2 or 3, and this is definitely enough now. Yes, finally. And let's sew it now. And as I said at the beginning of the video, for the 19th century it was sewn in a different way than it was for the 17th, 18th century, and I got a knot here. Good job. Let me glue this because I need to deal with the knot and I don't want to lose these loops. And I got knot in the end of this rope. Probably I will cut it. This will be the easiest way. Just a drop of cyanoacrylate and cut. And I will clean needle for the next time to use. Okay. No knots, please. Oh, good. Now let's sew it. A little twisted. So this type, or in this period, it was loops around this clue. When for the 18th and 17th century, it was absolutely different type of sewing it to the sail. But here it's just loops around it. Yeah, Confederacy, as I said, is my favorite. And between these three, all three of them are very well designed. Yes, Pegasus is lack of details, but I have very detailed books of the Swan class by David Ancherel. So I have all information what I need, just have to sit and add them to that model. About the Speedy, it is everything in the drawings already. And I'm choosing that type of work when you have all details without simplifying. And Confederacy, also very well designed, all information, everything is on the drawings. And I'm using the kit part as patterns, so I don't have to create anything, design anything in AutoCAD. I'm replacing wood. Okay, it should be on this side actually, so not on the other. Let me spread these loops properly. Where it is so stiff, I can use a razor because it's 3-layer and also cyanoacrylate glue. Very difficult to stick the needle. One more time. And maybe one more. Did that with the fingers too. I even have sewn a few times my sails to my jeans or my skirt. If you are sewing on your knees, and you just can stick it together to your clothes and sew it. That is funny. When you have been sewing after that quite alone and just so unfair to cut and resew it because you have sewn your clothes to the sail. Okay, I have another half an hour to stay with you, and as I said, I will in the beginning that I will finish today's episode on time in 2 hours. So definitely we will sew this mainsail, or we'll finish it next Sunday. So let me hide this and do the rope. Just properly hidden in between. This is triple even canvas here, head of the sail, and this reinforcement on the at the peak of the sail. Oh, I forgot to add glue, so it will not fall off. So let me add a drop of glue. And maybe I don't have time today to make second clue, but next time we have to make clue and earrings. Is this enough piece of rope? Nope, too short. Let me take a different one. And again I will hide the end of it here, preferably without sticking it out, only under the one canvas. Something like this. Clean this needle again. Because I need to grab a drop of cyanoacrylate for this end of the thread, so I can pull it inside. Now it's glued, and I can start sewing again. So I don't know if I have enough time to sew in even this aft side of the bolt rope raft side of the sail. And we'll see how much I will make. That will be enough for today. Oh, how I managed to do that? I ripped it off. Good job. One more time to glue it inside. It was so stiff. Happens. So that it was not, and just ripped it off. But it wasn't. Ah. Okay. Holding. Let's see for how long or how strong. Good. Holding. Okay. A sip of water. Just today I'm getting, from the just smell of cyanoacrylate, usually I'm crying, but today I'm getting something scratching here. And actually, usually for this bobsmith industry cyanoacrylates, I'm less allergic, but today probably also was lots of talking and just make it itchy here. And because this is something what I'm repeating seam by seam, I'm trying to talk. Just got something here. How do you have only one thread on your needle instead of double up one? This is just, let me show you. This is the end of the, please work. Another 20 minutes and that's it. So when I insert one end in the needle, so second end I glued in the sail, and that's how I'm having one without doubling it. So this is it's double in the upper part, but when you are sewing it, it's actually single one in the end, because the other tail is just sticking to the needle, like this. Okay, where is it? Like so. This is one end. It is in the needle. Let me make it shorter. So this is one end of the yarn. You see, another end just was glued at the very beginning in this clue. And now when you are sewing, it's one yarn only. Yes, if I can say that. You just explained me some terminology. Thank you, Tim. Just Tim. Thank you, just Tim. I'm sorry for my awful English. Literally, when I just came to the United States with zero knowledge of language, and I stuck at home because of COVID, and very rarely I'm going outside to hear how the native speakers are chatting, and I have at home my American Bulgarian, so I'm learning English from Bulgarian pronunciation, so I can imagine what an awful accent I have, and I'm struggling with constructing proper sentences. Even if I know already lots of terminology, shipbuilding terminology, I can talk with you about weather, but not about some technical aspects in shipbuilding construction. I'm still struggling with terminology, sewing, etc. No, it is turning itself off sometimes in 20 minutes, sometimes in 1 hour, sometimes in 2 hours, and I was cursing coupler first, but then I start thinking about cable, HDMI cable, but maybe it is this socket in which you have to insert HDMI cable in the camera, because even sometimes I just need slightly touch the cable and it will disconnect, or sometimes without touching even it just disconnects. So I don't know, something with cable or with socket. And as I said somewhere in this video, this camera is so old, and once I asked how much it will cost to replace this, because it's very, it's fallen off easily, so very loose connection for the cable. So I asked how much it costs to replace it, and they told me that they have to replace entire unit with all these sockets for microphone, for HDMI cable, for that mini USB, everything. So it's just such a big block, like 1/4 of the camera, and it costs half of the camera. Just not make sense to repair it like this. I just want to keep it alive for photographing only, and that's why I'm saving money to buy a new camera, because this one is barely alive, and I hope it will stay alive to the end of this year. My hope is for Christmas, when they have lots of discounts and you can find very good deal. Thinking I'll go. Thank you, Lydia. Maybe YouTube one day will create, instead of live chat, sort of like Zoom live with, so we can talk, because sometimes I'm missing in the chat questions because I'm sticking my nose into a model and missing some questions. So if I haven't answered some questions in the chat, please drop them in the comments under this video and I will answer them. Not that I was doing this intentionally, I just literally just could miss it. actually for live streaming, and even the simplest camera will do the job. The more expensive camera does matter for photographing, not that much for video filming. And actually my first camera I bought the cheapest Canon just to learn and understand if it is mine or not. So I bought the cheapest one possible, went to school, took a few courses, and then I realized what exactly I want to do, how I want to do it, and I bought my camera already knowing what I want to do exactly and what tools exactly I need, what lenses, etc. So I sold my first set of lenses together with my first camera and switched to this one. And at the moment I have only two lenses, one macro and one 50mm, because this is the most, like 50mm on full frame camera, this is exactly angle of view which human eye have. So that is how you can get the most realistic picture. And that's why when you are seeing lots of videos on YouTube filmed on phones, usually this is 22mm wide angle, and it looks weird and unrealistic. Just it's psychologically human eye and vision accepts picture from 50mm more, how to say this, easily, because it is the same angle of view as your eyes have. And just to watch long videos stream on wide angle or 50mm, it makes sense. You're just getting tired from wide angle, if I can explain this correctly. So that's why right now I'm filming on macro, so you can see each stitch that close. But the problem with macro lenses, it has very short what is this, field of what is the proper term, sharpness, field of depth. Oh, finally, I'm even learning English terminology in photographing. So literally, if I just will put close on the table, it's already blurring. When I will put it closer, you can see it almost. Let me fix it like this. It's actually not that difficult, it's very long term sewing. As you can see, 2 hours, and I even haven't sewn half of the bolt rope on the mainsail. And I was hoping that I can make both clues here today, and unfortunately not that fast to do. Focal length, this is 50mm and 100mm my macro lens, and field of depth, this is when you are focusing for example in one spot, and field of depth, this is like, for example, if you were moving from this point, so how far it can be still in sharpness. Like moving on the table is already blurring, moving back to this point when it was focused, it's sharp, you can see it. And this is a problem with macro lenses. They have very, very short or not deep field of depth. But to show some parts and details in ship modeling, it's impossible with any zoom lenses, because you can't put them too close enough to show it, so you have to have actually macro to show it. In macro lens you can put under it, literally in front of the lens, but it is with very short field of depth. Oh, finally, I think I remember it, this term. After today's episode, I definitely will remember it now. Yeah, I am from New London, and I really like this area. The climate is very similar to Kyiv, and I just like this area. This is a paradise for modelers. Mystic Seaport is next, just on the other side of the river, literally 20 minutes driving. and also I can go to Boston USS Constitution Museum, and also just lots of stuff around this area, which connected to ships, and lots of ships were built here, like Pinky Schooner, which I built, model which I have built, even Confederacy, which I'm building, model was built here. I believe in New London there was a huge port, and it was very active life here, very interesting. So I'm just enjoying this area, literally paradise for ship modelers. I think I have lots of viewers from railroad builders, and because I have a crazy idea and I'm doing research, but it's not gonna happen in the next 5 years probably, I want to build diorama with canal boats. I have lots of already information collected, archaeological reports. The idea is to build Erie Canal, something like 80s, 40s, plus minus 20, when it was built and the railroad came and literally killed the Erie Canal, because railroad got permission to transport not only people but also cargo or something like that. And I want to build all the types of canal boats which I found and just install a piece of railroad as a background along with Erie Canal. And to make it also dynamic, I want to make it with electricity. And I am very bad with electricity. My first model with lights, I burned 240 lights before I finally have chosen proper resistors. So I would be very grateful for any advices with railroad, where to start. Never built it before. And I got kit. It's also a kit. This is a train with a few carts. 1838. Just perfect timing for my diorama, but I need to find also this on what the road for the train. I know this word. I know this terminology. Oh, this metal. Awful. I know this word in English. So I need wires. This train. I will remember it in a moment. I know that it is only H0 scale, and that's it. And also I found just information that the first railroad was built also here, around Albany, so next to the Erie Canal. So it's just very interesting spot. Trucks. Thank you, David. Trucks. Yes, it is 1 to 87 H0. True. So this is this scale in which I will build my diorama. And I want to build it something like meter, maximum meter 10 wide, up to 2.5 meters long, because I want to build all the types of canal boats which I found. And they will be pretty large in this scale. So my Erie Canal should be also long enough for this. But the idea is that I want to make it like a few levels. So I'm trying to figure out with layout. So I want to make the entrance of somewhere in Albany, and as the last log and entrance to the Erie itself. So maybe like lower and upper layer, and in between somewhere will be a piece of railroad, maybe with a bridge, something, just to make it dynamic. And also it will be Hudson River, of course, at the very beginning. So on the Hudson River I want to build at least one sloop, and if I can fit steamer there. I found very beautiful one. It was Empire of Troy. At first the name was just Empire, and then they named it Empire of Troy. It was operating on the Hudson River between New York, from New York actually. And the thing is that steamer sunk because of some little small craft boat was trying to cross in front of it, and because the Empire of Troy should make a strange maneuver, ran aground, sank, killed 14 or 16 people. But it was also sloop. At the moment I was remembering the name and I just it disappeared. Not cheerful sloop. I just have drawings of this sloop already. Oh, I have bad memory today. So that sloop saved people from the Empire of Troy, and so just also it was same period, plus minus couple of years, just to build same sloop and steamer would be also interesting. And so this is a huge idea. I don't know if I can fit it in 1 meter 10 and up to 2 meters long, because this is in 1:70 or 1:87 scale, and it is quite big models. So maybe it will be very tiny piece of railroad because it was there, and mostly models. So while I'm building and working on the restoration and building my models, which I already have on my desk, I can do the research. And right now I just visiting all museums in the area, and I'm dreaming to go to Albany also. There is also a museum, and because some logs from Erie Canal already dry and it is just parks, I just want to visit them. So have huge plans for the next 5 years. And just to create a story behind this diorama, not just models on the layout. So I'm searching something interesting like about this Empire of Troy. I'm actually looking for drawings of this one, and I hope that Smithsonian, they have the drawings. So I'm dreaming also to go to see the museum and to check the Philadelphia gunboat, but because it is right now closed, exhibition is closed, it is on the restoration, I have to wait. So huge plans, lots of stuff to visit on the wish list. We will see how it will go. Around 1840s plus minus, because I have a train from 1838. Let me tell you the name of it. It was a gift also, just my husband's friend, when he heard that I want to build diorama, and he told me that he has a set of trains, and he just gave it to me, and it is no longer available for sale, so it's just perfect period for me. But no, H0, come on, can't get it outside right now. Oh, finally. So this is John Bell, but it is 1833, sorry. So this is the one. It's exactly how it is on the picture. It is exactly this train here. Not visible, of course, the train is right here. But this is one of this first. We can switch to camera. So this is the one. I have zero knowledge about trains, etc., so don't judge me. I just know that this is proper period, and this is good enough for me at the moment. So now I just need to find all drawings of the ships which I want to build. And a little more information about logs, how to build them properly, because I have some art pictures of first log or the second at Albany. So just to make it historically accurate even logs, because I want to make first and last one, as I said. And I have found a few interesting books about Erie Canal. And this profile with levels, which log at which height was designed. And of course I'm collecting all art pictures which I can find, just for the information. Oh, thank you, Carol. Under this video you can find my website, and there is contact me, separate tab, or just on the main page of the website you can send me in private your message. I'm mostly keeping all my correspondences through my website, because my email flooded with YouTube notifications and I'm getting hundreds of comments every day. Just trust me, I can't find anything there. And I'm afraid that I have to finish today's episode, because, as I said, I need to drive my husband to the airport in Boston. He's going for his field work for excavating ship in the Black Sea. So I will stay at home with my assistant and will work on my models, and I hope in 2 months I can borrow another second camera to show you more details on these live streams, because the second camera is my husband's. So thank you very much for coming today, and I think this is it for today. And see you next Saturday with Philadelphia gunboat, and Sunday with this mainsail. I hope I will finish it next episode, because I will sit to the end until I will finish it. Maybe it will not take me 2 hours, maybe 3, because to finish this bolt rope I need to make another clue and 2 earrings, so it is maybe 3 hours, not 2 for sure. And also I need to make reef points. So I will try to finish this model in 2 next episodes, but as I said, next one will be longer than 2 hours. So this is it for today. See you next Saturday and Sunday. Have a nice rest of the day. It looks like nice weather finally out there. And bye.